All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the delay. We've been testing this thing out. Everyone, please help me welcome Mr. Ben Mangum.
You know, the way you tell the story and everything.
Funny how.
Come here, though. Yeah, he's crazy, see? Who are you?
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Are you ready?
Yo, Ben, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm listening to you from Skype.
There you are. Holy mackerel. All right.
All right, cool.
I'm just not going to fuck with anything else. So let's get to the real reason why we're here.
Why are we here?
Dude, apparently to figure that out, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so how are things, man? How you been dealing with this COVID, man? I don't know if you know there's this like virus thing going around. Did you know that?
Yeah, I've heard of it a couple of times. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing well, staying busy. Busier than ever, actually, but I'm doing well. I was just on a road trip with my girlfriend up to New Hampshire for 2 weeks, so that was a nice break from everything. And back in Florida, just working and just doing my thing.
That's awesome, dude. Man, about the same, bud. Yeah, it's been kind of it's been weird too. See, I did that with. Now I switched the screen, so now you got your Instagram up there.
I do see that.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, that's dope.
Yeah. But no, it's been good, man. I mean, it's work's been non-existent. You know, I've pretty much just been planning for 2021, so that's kind of been a challenge just because everything's so like long-term that we have to plan for.
Sure.
So I mean, it's been interesting, but hopefully this thing will blow over soon. You know, because we can't really do anything from like an event standpoint. We don't really know, you know, who's doing what, and every state's different, and so our company's kind of responding as like a blanket of, you know, let's just hold off, which makes total sense.
Yeah.
And our company's very cautious when it comes to that, so it's kind of good too. But yeah, it's been weird, man.
I'm sure it's total change of pace for you, because that was like all you were doing was going to these different events and.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been shitty. I think probably the biggest thing that I had to kind of adjust was just a matter of like figuring out what to do. Like like work is fine because I'm still staying pretty busy with work, but just like in general on a daily basis, like what the hell to do. It's been so weird, you know. Like in Tampa in particular, I mean, there's been a few places that are open, you know, in some bars and restaurants and things like that. But like takeout is also kind of one of those things where even if they do order takeout or something and you could pick it up, do you want to? I mean, what if like someone has COVID there and they're coughing all over your food? Like, it's just kind of, it's one of those weird things where you want to live your life, but also it's like, you know, you don't really know what to think about this thing because there's been no really strong direction of this, because I don't think people know about it. You know, it's, you know, the higher ups in CDC, this is all news, so I don't really know how to react to it yet.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you just get so torn on how you feel about everything and what to do, this and that. But,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you know, I mean, we're getting there. I mean, and also the biggest challenge is just going to the gym too. Like, I know you're not big into going to the gym. I mean, you look very fit though, obviously. But yeah, that's been weird too. Like not being able to go to the gym, that's been strange. I canceled my gym membership.
No, that doesn't sound fun at all. I feel for you on that. There's been a couple of times my apartment gym opened up, and like nobody's in there. Like every time I've gone in there, only like one other person's in there. So that's fine. I don't work out that much, but I stay active like outside, like walking or like shooting hoops or something like that, like just to sweat or whatever. But haven't been doing like weight training or anything like that, which I need to. I would like to, but it's out of that routine, I guess.
Yeah.
I need the Tony Gerardo workout routine.
Sure. Anytime. Yeah, so that's definitely been weird. That's been weird. But what do you think is the biggest challenge, like for you in particular? Because on a daily basis, I mean, obviously you're working and stuff, but like, what are you typically doing that is a big challenge for you during this time?
What is a big challenge?
Yeah, if anything.
I think a challenge that I face, maybe it's a mental thing, like internally, is maybe not doing something and then you like start getting anxiety about the future and everything. Like, um, it could be a lot of different things, like not being satisfied, or like, oh, I'm not doing this, or it's kind of hard to explain. But have you ever gotten that to where maybe you're not doing anything, or you feel stagnant and you kind of just start feeling a little weird about everything, or you start
For
getting
sure.
a little anxious about what you're doing and stuff like that? I think that's like an actual challenge that I've faced every now and then. Like, it's not all the time, but I think just being inside all the time, like, I've learned with this whole COVID thing that I have to get outside like once a day, or I gotta go like walk around or something, or I'll go crazy.
Yeah, dude. No, I'm the same way. I mean, we try to go out at least like once or twice a day, but like the biggest challenge for me, because I know exactly what you're saying, but the big challenge for me has been just getting out of the house and either not spending money, or like, when we get out, it's even hard to get out. Like,
Yeah.
there's that weird thing where, again, do you want to go out, but you're wearing the mask, and you got to wipe down everything when you get back. Like, it's one of those weird things where you don't really know really if you should be super cautious. So is it worth going out because home is so cool? That's been the biggest challenge for me, is just home is awesome. Like, I've never been more productive, from like a podcast standpoint, blogging, writing stuff out, writing out goals, things like that. But then the negative side is like eating. I've never eaten or drinking more alcohol in my life. So it's like, but I'm not really spending a lot of money either, because we don't go out. We used to go out, twice, maybe 3 times a week. We don't do that anymore. But then also, like, we're sick of each other.
You're sick of each other?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, in a good way.
Sure.
Like, I mean, she's like, right now she left because this is the only free time that she has to get out. I mean, because we do everything together. So, I was like, hey, I'm going to try to test this shit out and do a podcast. So, if you want, I told her like this. I go, if you want, you could stay. And she's like, no, I'll go. Like, she was excited to go.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. But, yeah, I don't know, man. That's, huh?
Got to do your own thing sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's, I think probably that's the most important thing in a relationship, is having like independence and doing stuff. So this thing has been a challenge, I think, for everybody, to try to figure out, how to spend your free time. Because normally you would go out with a group of friends and maybe go downtown, or, whatever you do to have fun with a group of people. But now it's like, I don't know about you, but I mean, we went out with a couple friends a few weeks ago, and they're like, hey, you want to go here? And we're like, well, isn't it going to be crowded? Like, no, it won't be. And then we go there, we drive past it, and it was really crowded. And then we looked, we're like, I don't know if we want to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I've kind of been in that situation a little bit in Ocala, but not too much. Basically, like, there was one situation where it was similar to that, but it was outside, and it was crowded, and like, Rachel was kind of just like, I'm not comfortable. So I was like, okay, and we left. So it kind of wasn't too big of a deal. So now it's like, okay, if we know the situation, I mean, I guess the best thing is just to know the situation before you go. But you're in a way bigger city, so I feel like it's on a bigger scale of these places that you go to. And from my opinion or my assumption, it's like even a higher risk. Not that there's no risk in Ocala or anything, but
Yeah, you kind of got lucky with the whole little city thing in Ocala, because I mean, here in Tampa, everything shuts down because everything's mass gatherings pretty much. Like Armature Works and those big spots in Tampa, it's all those big courtyards and big parks and all types of events. Like it's a very event based. And St. Pete, that's another good one where there's just so much cool shit to do, but they're just it's a lot of people, so a lot of those places shut down and a lot of businesses weren't lasting. So I don't know, man. It's a weird time, that's for sure.
Yeah. You're able to go to the beach though, right?
You can, yeah, they're open. We don't. I mean, we went like 4 weeks ago or something like that, or last month, and then when we went, we weren't excited about how people were reacting to it. I mean, we laid out, we got our distance, and then people were wasted coming up, getting super close to us, not on purpose, but just walking by, and one guy goes in the water and I see him cough, and I'm like, all right, dude, we're out. Like that. Like that's it. So it's just kind of I don't know, it's not that it's not worth it, but I just think we all got to get on the same page, and until that happens, we can't really I mean, it's almost like you remember when I mean, I don't want to bring up mass shootings, but like when The Dark Knight, that mass shooting happened in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, but it's not like half the population was like, let's go to the movies tomorrow. Like 100% of the population was pretty set on not going to the movies for a while.
Yeah.
Like, like everyone was scared. There wasn't a debate. And
yeah,
that was...
I'm pretty sure I was in like middle school when that happened, so I didn't. I don't really. I remember it happening, but I don't remember it happening.
I don't. You're really showing my age here, Ben. I always wanted to say that. You're really showing my age. But yeah, that was. I remember that vividly, just because I'm a Batman nut. I mean, as you could see from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I was a nut. So, I mean, for me, even I was not wanting to go to the movies after that. But here it's like people are torn in between if it's serious or not. And I get it because there's two different sides of it. But, if we just all got on the same page and said, all right, because let's say everybody in the world had it today, like everybody. This is what's so strange to me when we first found out about this is, let's say if everyone had it today. So that means if everyone stayed at home for 14 days. So like March 15th or whenever we shut down, March 20th, if we just stayed at home for 14 days, every single person on the planet, according to CDC, this is in around 14 days. So it'd be gone. Right? But instead, it's a lot. Yeah. But instead now we're dragging this thing out. So now half the people stay home, half the people don't. People that are infected stay. So it's like, I don't know.
No, I see where you're coming from, man.
Yeah.
I see both sides of this spectrum. People who feel very strongly the other way, and people who feel strongly this way. Oh, it's just a lot of craziness going on, and I don't know, man.
And I don't think we'll ever know, too. Like, we'll never know what the actual solution is.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot of there's a lot to it, there's a lot of variables with it depending on what you do and what your lifestyle is, where you're at with your life. Do you have kids who are going to go back to school, or are you still laid off from your job, or are you doing good? Like, there's all kinds of people in different situations. So it seems like a lot of people feel a lot of different ways about it all. And then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, rightfully so. I mean, I got buddies that unfortunately had to shut down their business, one of their businesses, because of this thing. And, but again, I think all this could have been avoided if we just decided what was the right thing. And I don't know if it's leadership up top or, I just think if we all just got on the same page together and focused, not just on this COVID thing, but just understood, okay, what do we have to do to fix this issue? Is it to go back to normal? I think so, yeah, but you got to take the precautions. So, if you want to go back to normal and, people out there we're really fighting to make sure that businesses stay open, but then you have a couple people that don't follow protocols. Like there was this one really crazy video, I don't know if you saw, where this guy got in an Uber and didn't wear a mask. Did you see that video?
No, I didn't.
So the driver was like asking him very nicely for like 5 minutes to, put on a mask, and he goes, I didn't bring it, and then they end up getting in a fight. And it's like, that's the type of thing where the guy's driving you around, he wants to make sure he's safe, but then on the other side of the fence, whether you believe in it or not, you kind of have to respect it. No, I mean, it's like, does anybody tell you every day to wear clothes outside?
Yeah.
I mean, you just do it just because it's the right thing to do, right? I mean, but there's a certain etiquette that we follow that no one really like writes it down and puts it on our forehead. I mean, you just kind of know, not to curse in front of kids. I mean, it's just something you know. But then you have those people that do curse in front of little kids, and you look at them like, what a dick. Same thing with a mask. I mean, if someone wants to wear, if they're walking to your restaurant and they're like, hey, put on a mask, and you say, I don't want to put on a mask, you're the guy that decides to use the word cunt in front of a kid. That's just how it happens. You're that guy. It's the Karens of the world.
Yeah. Ocala's putting a mandate on it, apparently. I don't pay attention to the news too closely, like daily, but I've been seeing people talk about it, and a lot of people are not for it. I'm seeing a lot of my body, my choice, and oh man,
that's always a good one. Yeah, that's always a good one. Yeah, like I don't think people understand. This is not like an abortion topic. This is, it's not your body, your choice. Like this is something that is directly affecting other people if you don't follow it.
Yeah.
Like if my wife or anybody else decides to, do something with their body, like have an abortion or something like that, that's their choice, right? I mean, wherever you stand on that side of the fence, but it's their body, it's their choice. It doesn't affect anybody else.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not going to affect you and your mother for this. But like if I decide to not wear a mask in front of you and I have COVID,
yeah,
that affects you, it affects your mother, it affects, everybody you come in contact with. So I don't know. I just want things to get back to normal, but I want people to be a little bit more, smarter with their decision making.
Yeah, it's a lot going on, dude. I mean, I see like the perspective from that side to an extent. Like, I don't live in fear right now. Like, I do respect it. Like, when I go to the grocery store, like I'll wear a mask, or like when I do this, like I respect people's bodies. Like I don't want to get it, but more importantly, I don't want to give it to somebody else, like my parents or whoever, Yeah. And so I mean that's kind of the simple fact of where it comes down to me. Like I'm not a big politics guy at all. Like I don't pay attention to it. So a lot of people kind of are tying it into that.
You shouldn't be, by the way.
And like just you can get scared reading like media titles and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I totally see where it's kind of they're trying to scare you, but it's also serious at the same time. So yeah. I'm just kind of doing my own thing over here, dude. Like some people are going crazy out there.
Yeah, and I think if there's anything this COVID thing has taught us is we all have to do our own thing.
Yeah.
Like we really have to focus on, what we're going to do. God forbid if you're on the side of the fence that you lose your job. What's your plan B? Are you being productive with that? And if you're not, then what are you doing to bring value to your current job so that they don't lay you off? Because as a business, and if you're not profiting and not making money, unfortunately, this is a tough time. So owners have to make tough decisions to, save face and, save their company and make sure their company doesn't go over. So they got to make some tough decisions. So as an employee, you got to do what you can to bring value. Like even at my job, my job is based off of 100% events, mass gatherings, and the company's being very very clear and very honest of they're not going to make any changes, and this isn't going to happen. I believe that 100% because it's a great company. They haven't laid anybody off, knock on wood. But I'm trying to do what I can to be the best employee I can to that company right now, and doing above and beyond work, because let's be honest, I'm getting paid to be at home, right? So the company's paying me. So instead of working 8 to 5 like I normally would, now I'm going to wake up at 6 and I'm going to work until 6 p.m. Now, of course, I'm going to have a couple breaks here and there. I'm going to hang out with the wife for a few minutes here and there, but I'm going to put in a little bit extra time because I'm going to bring value to that company, because the company needs it, because they're hurting right now. Every company's hurting right now. So I think as an employee, you have to kind of take that into account too, and don't use this time to dick around and, get a paycheck if you're one of those guys sitting at home getting paid too,
Yeah, totally. Totally see where you're coming from. Just being the best you can be. I mean, life goes on. Life is pushing on. I mean, I think this may be left field, but I kind of think of it quite often. In my mentorship group, one of the guys that went on the live stream, he was like, this is like back in April. He was like, we're either going to die or we're going to get through this. So like, you gotta make that choice. Like, what are you going to do today? So it's like, that's a very insensitive like thing to say, but at the same time, you got to do what you got to do right now.
That's a good, to be honest, it's kind of a good way to put it. I mean, and this goes to show you kind of what's important too, right? Like on a daily basis, you kind of start to realize what, like, what have you been doing? Like Sunday to Sunday, when you were able to go out and hang out with friends, hang out with family, go to bars, go to restaurants, go to movie, like, what were you doing every single day? Was it beneficial? And then how much money were we spending? So it's like, I think this is kind of a good thing. It's almost like a brush fire, like a brush fire that's caused by nature. If it's, a little bit, especially in California, they get a lot of fires, but that's just nature's way of taking out the dead trees because it's dry, and then it'll bring rain to regrow stuff again, and it'll just keep burning, and sometimes it gets out of control, but that's kind of nature's way of resetting. So maybe this is like our way of like resetting.
No, it's definitely been a huge reset of like, I mean, I mentioned I don't really do weight training before, but like I appreciate outside and like nature so much more, just like going outside, appreciating little things and understanding what's important to you. I feel like I've even gotten closer to my family and some of my friends during this time. Like, it sucks, but I don't know.
That is kind of weird, right? Like we got a little bit closer. I know I did too.
I definitely have, for sure.
Like I'm FaceTiming with family more, and I've done more podcasts, now than I have in a while, just because, with Zoom and Skype and all that, it's been pretty easy. But yeah, that is kind of weird. Like you're connecting a little bit more, and then you also find out what friends are actually your friends. Have you noticed that, or is that just me?
I haven't had anyone that I realized wasn't my friend. So I mean, I already don't have a lot of friends. I know a lot of people, but so it wasn't much different.
Yeah. And I mean, like, not that, you had friends and then they stopped talking to you, but I noticed that, like, if I could spend X amount of time every day FaceTiming or talking with people, there's a group that I have in mind. And then there's the other group where it's like, maybe I'll talk to you later.
That
like
makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there wasn't like an urgency to it. But hopefully none of them are watching right now. Still love you guys.
Yeah.
But how's everything with the business though?
I'm doing good, man. I've built a lot of momentum over the past couple of months. Staying busy. Yeah, it's kind of ironic. I'm doing better than I ever have.
Why is that, you think?
Well, I can think of one thing that I know for sure is the reason. I invested in a course at the beginning of quarantine. so there's this group called Video Warrior, and that's kind of where I learned everything about how to make videos for businesses and like how to sell, how to like see what problems they're having and suggest the right strategy. So I was a part of their free group for like 2 years, and then they had like an offer at the beginning of quarantine, and I invested in that like $2,000 into that course, and it's paid off big time, dude. Like just how to run a video production company, like how to run meetings, how to give value, all that good stuff. That's kind of the biggest thing. You know, you go through like coaching classes and stuff, or, you know, coaching calls and talking to other people. That's probably the biggest thing that's changed everything.
That's rad.
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked. I think it's just, you know, you may be meeting people beforehand, but like once you understand your value more, and like it just helps how you're communicating and everything. So that's kind of been the biggest factor of like increasing my sales, getting busier. Yeah, so that's been awesome.
And that was, you said that was Video Warrior?
Yeah. Shout out to Marcus Rideout and Nick Koyama. They may see this. They probably won't, but yeah.
I'll tag them in this portion of the video. I'll give you a little shout out.
Sure.
Yeah, no, that's big, man. And those are like the little things where, you know, that's kind of the cool thing with this weird time is now you actually have the time to do that type of stuff where maybe you didn't before because you're trying to hustle and bustle and, you know, go 100 miles, 100 miles per hour, which really just gives you a chance to kind of step back, focus on your creative process a little bit, and, you know, just calm down and, you know, focus on what's important and, you know, do the education like you've been doing. So that's huge.
Yeah, in March, I got laid off from my job at Bonefish. I was waiting tables probably like 20 hours a week. And I don't know. I think it was like I got a little scared, and then I was like, okay, like this is what you actually want to do, is like run a video business, which like I had the business before quarantine, but you're also like half and half of like how much energy you're putting on. And I think when you're making money elsewhere, you kind of don't really go all in on it. So it's just a lot of things like, okay, you know, I do video, like this is perfect. Every business needs this. Kind of just got more confident about what I do. And just, there's this thing called momentum. You don't really know how to explain it, but like it just keeps building, and you know, if that makes sense. Like,
100%.
over time it just builds up, and it just like happens to be quarantine now, you know what I'm saying? So It's like a couple of years of like, in my opinion, like half-ass work because you have a job while you're doing like the creative stuff, and then, you know, you get laid off. It's like, okay, this is I got to do it. Yeah. Dude,
that's such a great point too, because sometimes we all need that little kick in the ass. And I think we even talked about this before, where, you know, like when you and Rachel came down, where it's like, if not that you didn't have the kick in the ass and not that you weren't working hard, but now it's like your back's up against the wall.
Yeah.
You know, now you have to focus on this, and, you know, it's your passion, and obviously your passion wasn't to be a manager at Bonefish one day. So, you know, not that they did you a favor, but they kind of gave you a push in the right direction that you were already going to, and you were kind of deciding on two lanes and what's more lucrative and what's not. But now, I mean, look, you even said it yourself. Now you went on this path in March, you spent money on this course, but, you know, now you're making more money and business is going even better now. So if they didn't lay you off, you know, you might not be having that same thought.
No, seriously, man, I am really grateful for that. What was I about to say? I mean, you're just kind of like, you think of all the reasons why you can't do it. And so you have a job because you have bills. But when you're forced to do something, things happen. And then you can get to a place to where you're not in this, like, you're not desperate or backs against the wall, but it's kind of like, this is what I do now. So like that kind of gives you more confidence and whatnot. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, good, man. That's good to hear.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for the position I'm in right now. I mean, obviously it's not like I'm balling out, but I get to do what I love every day, and I get to work on my own time. And it is a little weird, but I also enjoy the virtual meetings. Like, you don't have to drive everywhere to go meet people.
That's pretty fun, for sure.
Yeah, I'm an introvert, so I don't mind staying at the house and just not getting dressed up, like not wearing pants in professional meetings.
Yeah, yeah. Well, dude, I mean, this is like the first time like I did my hair, only because not that I had to, but like I haven't done it in I don't even know how long, and like I have jeans on now. I don't know why still, but
I
Yeah.
shaved for this.
huh?
I shaved for this.
Yeah, I could tell, man. I appreciate you. Look good. Sorry, it took like 2 hours to get us online, but we'll get this down for sure. But yeah, it's kind of weird though. Like getting, like I'm wearing my Apple Watch. I haven't worn it in probably like 3 weeks. There's no reason to. You know, I
Yeah.
don't leave. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to get back to normal.
Yeah, I don't know. I just what is normal, right? Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is like,
What's normal now? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Do you see yourself like from a business standpoint? Do you see yourself changing how you do things? I mean, will you do moving forward? Like, let's say if things get back to normal. I mean, will you do just virtual meetings initially, maybe to meet the client, and then do something? I mean, how do you see things moving forward?
I've had, so beforehand or at the beginning of quarantine, I was like, there's no way I can sell on Zoom. Like, how, you feel
Right.
like there's no connection there, like you won't be able to understand. But I proved myself wrong there, and I was like, oh wow, I just was at my house and just sold this project. And so I kind of proved myself wrong there. And I've had some in-person meetings too during this time. But yeah, it kind of depends, like where people are, or I don't mind the virtual meeting. It's kind of one of those things, like, you can get to know each other first, and like, if we want to move forward, hey, let's set up this meeting
Do
to
a
where I
second one. Right.
lay everything out. So I'm in like a central location, so I'm kind of like at least 30 minutes south of Ocala, 45 minutes south of downtown Ocala. So it's kind of an inconvenience a lot of times to drive.
Especially like a first initial one where you're not really like getting paid.
Yeah,
Right, it's just
yeah.
a meeting.
Sometimes I do. It kind of depends on the person, or like if I'm super busy that day, like I'll try and do the virtual one. So I'm trying to answer your question, like how things would be different if things went back to normal.
It's going to be hard because you don't really know what things are going to get to. Like, I
Yeah.
know for me, initially it used to be if I want to set up a new event in Florida, what I would do is I would, call the individual, call what we call a vendor. So like, let's say it's like a big festival like Tortuga or Ultra or something like that, and I wanted to participate in that. Usually they approach us first because they want the money, right? So we have to cut them a check, but we have to make sure it's a good fit for our brand and everything like that. So instead of actually physically going to a location and meeting with those people numerous times, maybe we're negotiating contracts or deals and stuff, I might not, moving forward, I might not never see someone face to face until the day of the event, because me being local in Tampa, but I run the whole state. So if I want to go to Miami, I was going to Miami. I don't know if you remember, but Miami and Jack, I mean, every other week I'd be out of town, for 3-4 days a week. I'd be out different spots. And then, sometimes you meet with these people and, nothing happens or we don't come to agreement. So now I'm also spending company dollars on flights, gas, food, everything that it costs, hotels, all that stuff. So it's like, if I'm the company, from a company standpoint, I wouldn't want you to travel. If you could do it online or virtually, that's how I would want you to go, because if, we could save the company $5,000 a month, we have 3,000 employees,
No,
Yeah.
absolutely, man. I mean, it's totally. It all depends on the situation, but I think you could definitely do it virtual. I mean, it sounds a bit exhausting because you're driving several hours to this location. There's no. I mean, for the event, I totally understand, but when you're just like
Yeah, you want to go to those for sure.
meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's worth the drive. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
so
think
it'll,
it'll probably prove a lot of people wrong or show them to a new way of doing things.
yeah.
I think, I've seen a lot of people complaining about the whole virtual meetings, but it's just like I was able to do 3 meetings back to back without leaving my house, and I didn't spend any money on food or gas, so I'm down. Yeah, so.
That'll work. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting, man. I think if we all just keep our head above water, stay focused, try to stay positive, and just help each other. I've done a lot of collaborating. I picked up 2 more sponsors for the podcast, so
Cool.
I definitely want to figure out this live thing because I'm gonna have to ramp this thing up here in a bit to satisfy these partners. But
Do you like pre-record the sponsorship part or something?
yeah,
Throw it in there?
yeah, like they'll do the pre-roll and the like a mid or a post roll where I'll do the advertisement beforehand, or I might mention something in between. Just kind of depends on the sponsor, but a couple good ones. So I'm pretty stoked. I'm going to be announcing them probably next week or the week after. But yeah, so I think collaborating a little bit more. I've done a lot of that. So I think if we continue, no matter what your profession is, but if you're reaching out to other people in that profession, or if you're trying to collaborate and work together, I think that's going to be something that either secures your job or secures your side hustle, whatever you're into. But
Yeah.
that's one thing I noticed a lot lately is hitting the DMs up a lot more and reaching out to more creators, kind of learning a little bit more. I've been getting out actually a lot into photography. I bought a couple, lenses
Cool.
for the Canon. Like I got this nice 67 mil. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, so it's a nice little wide angle. So this is super exciting. And then I got a nice zoom lens too for it. Got the Rode mic. So
Good.
but just something as like a hobby, just I've always kind of been a little bit passionate about it, but now it's like my weekends are, instead of going out and drinking and hanging out at a bar, now I'm able to spend time on my passion, which again, another positive from COVID. The only positive I would say from COVID. But
No, that's cool, man. I'm stoked for you getting more sponsorships and whatnot. I think it's like, I don't know, you've been doing it a while now, so it's kind of, things add up on top of each other. It wasn't just because of quarantine. I think people can, maybe they want to try something else now because they got laid off or this and that, and it's tough because,
yeah,
you're taking more risk or like you're wasting time. So it is tough to start things. Like, things take time. So it's exciting to see your progression with all of it. I need to get my audio right with how you do it all.
well, dude, I mean, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been, I can't believe I'm not even, think like 77 episodes I think I've done. So not a lot, but I think once I get like 30 more under my belt, like once I do this live thing like 5 or 6 more times, just kind of get the hang of it because that's new, and then just keep putting out more content. It's been tough because I do everything myself, but it is kind of rewarding because I think I've kind of figured out a little bit, like with this Roadcaster. I think I got that down packed now, so it's just kind of like these baby steps that it's allowing me this time to kind of reflect, and instead of just hanging out and Netflixing, I really want to get good at this thing, and I really want to grow. So I'm hoping in the next like 2 years, I would say 2 years is I'll be where I want to be. I'll have another house. That'll be house number 3. Like I've already grown the studio a lot since you've been here last.
Yeah.
So, I want to grow a little bit more and, have more people on, more intelligent conversations, and not this isn't intelligent, but you know what I mean? Like just have a more broad range of guests and people that I don't know. Like that was one cool thing. I had this guy Nick on a few weeks ago. Shout out to Nick. But friend of a friend, never met him before, and because of Zoom, I was able to get him on the podcast, and you know, we just shot the shit about, you know, COVID and being vegan and his transition and his girl being vegan. It was just a lot of cool conversations that I've never met him before. So that was kind of fun too, because I'm a very extroverted when it comes to that, where I just like meeting people. Like, you know, if like the four of us go out, like I like having social interaction with people I don't know, because they might bring some value to me that maybe I didn't know even was out there, and I might learn something from them. So I kind of like that stuff. And, you know, this is, now I kind of know what this podcast is. Like before, even when I was having you on, I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to talk.
Sure.
I didn't really have like a direction, but now I kind of know where I want the direction to go. So I'm stoked to kind of put the pedal to the metal and really do this thing.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I mean, because you actually, you know, you actually are a vegan, or you actually are into fitness and doing these different things. So those are actually things that you experience and can talk about, and it's authentic to you. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's easy to talk about too. Like I feel like you could easily do one, like when you talk about photography and videography, like, you know, you could just tell that you just go at it. You know, it's easy to talk. You know, for me, that's like that side hustle for me. That's not really something that I could talk a lot about right now. So that's why I want to learn more about it. And I think through the podcast, I'll be able to do that a lot more.
Yeah.
You know? So, and are you, I know you kind of thought about it before, but I know you were doing like little episodes and stuff. Was that just from like Buddy's podcast, or you were doing like little things yourself? Were those just video cards you were doing, or were you trying to like create like a channel?
I think the goal was like my friend and I wanted to like just do it. I don't really know. It was kind of tough to come up with topics and whatnot, and then it just kind of fell apart, dude.
Yeah.
And then I would like to, one of my goals is I've been trying to get my ducks in a row with like the whole blueprint production thing before I start making content, because I want to make content towards that. So I've been super quiet on Facebook and whatnot. So like after I get my stuff together, then I'll start making content. But I want to, you know, like just hang out with business owners and like ask them questions, and just like whatever little value nuggets you can get, put it into a little 2-minute video for content. Honestly, I don't know, man. I definitely struggle with that. Like I give you props for how consistently you post. That is definitely not my strong point. Which is something I'm learning about myself. Like I see the value in it, but I don't do it.
Yeah. You want to know what my secret is?
Do you have a reminder?
Well, it's not really a secret, I guess, as much as it is just discipline in doing it. And it is tough. But from all the other creators that I've talked to, like my buddy Bobby, who's a big influencer in New York, he was on a podcast a few weeks ago, and he's given me a lot of side advice. I've known him since, you know, like almost middle school. But he's given me tons of advice because that's all he does. And one thing he told me, and a few other people kind of backed it up, was spend a day, whether that's a Sunday or a Monday night or whatever, and instead of like, you know, Netflixing a little bit more, spend an hour, like block out an hour, and in that hour, maybe you have like some old photos or something, you know, spend that time in Lightroom and edit some shit up. And in Instagram in particular, because that's the big platform right now, right, is create like 6 or 7 posts.
Gotcha.
And then save them as a draft. And then every other day post something.
That makes sense. Yeah,
So,
that
yeah.
makes total sense.
So it's
Then you
already-
just-
it's
you have
already
them ready to post.
Yeah. Yeah, and
For
it's
sure.
it's just something that's relevant too. Like I already have like 6 in my draft already, and one is already set up for tomorrow for Monday motivation. Because sometimes I'll just think about stuff and then I'll just be like, let me just write something up real quick and find an image that's with it, and then I would just do that. So, but that's hard too, you know, especially like you can either hang out and have a couple drinks and eat some shitty food and watch Netflix, or you could focus on, you know, an Instagram platform that might not be here in 5 years, you know. So it's like, what do I do?
That's all
So,
good.
yeah.
I'm sure it's paying off. Now I started doing that, like batch shooting for video content, and then I guess I was just having a little trouble about what my message is overall, and like just being very conscious of that. And then I knew I wanted to change my business name, which I haven't officially done yet, like just waiting for a few things. So you kind of just put things on hold, and
You gonna
I don't
change
know.
it from Mangum Multimedia? You gonna get rid of that?
I am, yeah. I'm changing it to Blueprint Productions.
Ooh, that does sound better.
Yeah, I wanna have something that's easy pronounce. Mangum's a hard last name to pronounce, and it's a
something
mouthful. Mangum Multimedia. Like, what does that mean? That's a
Right.
lot of alliteration.
Yeah. Well, it's not hard to pronounce. It's just people want to say Magnum,
Yeah.
which is not a bad thing, by the way, bud.
No, for sure. And I wanted something that makes sense. Like Blueprint is like, you know, I lay out a plan for businesses with video and all that good stuff. So it's way more brandable, and I want something I'm like confident saying. So yeah, I'm stoked for change. I have a new video business card that I'm working on, but just waiting for a couple of clients. So it's like I'm waiting for the logo and the video and actually changing, and then it's like I want to post, which like that's my use.
But
But
to just be all ducks in
that's
a
what-
row and then you can post. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good call, man. Well, good, man.
How's
You know,
I haven't been on.
you cut out a little bit there. What'd you say?
I said, how's Facebook looking over here?
Oh, it was good for a while. Yeah, leave some comments, guys. We appreciate the thumbs up. Leave some comments if you want, and we can announce it. We had the most viewers the first time when we fucked up. So I think people were like, oh yeah, he doesn't have his shit together, so I'm just gonna close out of this thing. But you know, hey, it's the only way to test it out, man, is to do it this way. So.
No, I mean, I'm glad I helped you figured it out. I'm having my parents over for dinner tonight.
Oh.
So gotta go grocery shopping. They're supposed to be here at 5, so I think I gotta hop off here.
Yeah. No, go take care of that. Take care of the parents. Tell Rach we said what's up. And no, thanks again for letting me test this thing out. And once I figure it out completely, I'll get you on and we'll do a real legit one.
Yeah, no worries, man. Good chatting with you as always.
You too, buddy.
We don't have anything planned specifically yet, but hopefully we have a beach trip or something planned soon.
Yeah, dude. No, we enjoyed hanging out with you guys. So next time you're out, you know, let's plan something.
Yeah. We on the way home we stopped in Savannah just for like some food, and definitely made me want to go back there again. I was like, this place is cool. Kind of forgot.
Dude, that was a good time. For sure.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Well, hey, man, thanks again. Good seeing you. And we'll touch base later.
All right. Peace out, Tony.
All right, brother. Peace. All right, so guys, whoever joined, thanks so much for joining. Sorry we had some technical difficulties beforehand, but I'm still figuring out this live thing. I'm going to get this perfected so I could do more live streams. But I appreciate you guys. Y'all be good. Stay safe out there.